Hey, welcome back once again to Jack's Tech Corner and another Photoshop Elements video tutorial. Now, in today's tutorial, as I'm sure the title always gives it away, and that's why I never have these large announcements to make, we're going to learn how to paint an object, whatever the object might be. We're going to learn to virtually paint it so you can maybe see the effects on it before we actually, go out and have something painted. Because then it's too late, right? And once you get it repainted, or be it your car, this picture of the motorcycle I'm working on, whatever it is, even your house. Once we paint it, then it's too late to say, oh, I don't really like that. So, and this will work like if you take a picture of a room in your house, again, whatever, your car, your motorcycle, lawnmower, whatever it could be. So what we're going to end up with is something like this with multiple layers, and I'm going to show you how to do this each step of the way. And if I show you the visibility, you can see there's one painting I did this morning where the bike is actually like a red tint. And then there's also a blue tint that I did this morning. So I painted two different colors because I wanted to see what the bike would look like in these different colors. So how did we get there? How did we get there from here? Well, it's very easy. You can see we're going to be using multiple layers. We're going to be using layer styles also. I'm going to be showing you that this morning, and I'm going to show you just really, really simplistic ways to paint something. Now, the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to revert our image back to the original. So there we go. Now it's back to the original image. There's no edits done on this at all. You see I got one layer over here in the left pane. I'm sorry, in the right pane. Okay, so I did have a question here, and hopefully you're watching this particular video also from a viewer. It says, Jack, what does Command and Control J do, Command and Control J or Control J? What does that do? I don't see it doing anything. Well, what we're talking about there is duplicating this background image, and the reason we do that is because then we're saving the original background, and we're making a background. If we make a mistake on the edit, we can just delete it, the copy, and not worry about ruining the original picture. So I'm going to do a Command and Control J, and you can see now where we have a layer 1. And this layer 1 is exactly the same. If I turn the visibility off, it's exactly the same as the background. Well, so I'll turn this visibility off or turn this one off. It doesn't matter. It's the exact same background. If you don't see that happening, I have seen people do this also. Let me see if this will work for me. I'm going to delete that layer I just created. And they've also drugged this. So if you click your left mouse button and drag it up to new layer and let it go, it does the same thing. It creates a copy of that background. And you can see where it says background copy. I'm going to delete that. And again, I'm just going to say yes. And we're just going to do the Command or Control J. And you can see where it makes layer 1. So it does the exact same thing. It just creates a duplicate. So hopefully that makes more sense, What we need to do now is select the parts we want to color. Because if I add color to this whole picture right now, it's going to actually just cover up the whole picture. And let me show you that. Let's do something like that. Let's select all. And we're going to do edit fill selection like we're going to do here later on. We're going to say with the color. And you can see it fills the whole picture. It doesn't paint anything. It's not what we want to do here. So we're going to undo that. And we're going to undo our selection here. And now we're going to make a selection of just the areas we want to paint. Or just the areas we want to add color to, or whatever you're working on here, folks. To do this, I found one of the best tools I've been using lately is the actual polygonal lasso tool. Okay, I really like this tool because it allows me to really get detailed. I'm going to click on new because we're going to make a new selection. And then what we're going to do here is just start selecting. And to select with this tool, if I click one time with the left mouse button, I'm starting on the front fender, if you can see my mouse. Go around here. Again, if you mess up, just start reselecting it. Get your selection going again here. I love the comments I often get that says, Jack, it's nice to see that at times you do make mistakes. And, there is times you make a mistake here and there. But, that's just the way editing goes. I've been doing this so long that, you're working with one tool. You work with another tool. There we go. Now we're going to add the next part here. I'll just come down. And this is why you don't want to use a big selection brush or anything, because you're just making real small selections in areas that we want to be able to fill with our paint. All right. And that's the next area. Now we're going to go up around this fairing here on the top. And we're going to make some selections up here. So again, you have to select if you're painting a car, if you're painting a wall, whatever. You only want the area selected that you're going to be painting. So this is how we're going to see what these colors are. I don't want that plastic. I know myself that that's plastic there. So I'm going to come down here and try to capture the gas tank at the same time. And I'll just come down the bottom of this gas tank. And as you can see my mouse, every time I get to an anchor point, I just left click my mouse. It gives me a nice anchor point. I'm not painting the frame. I'm just painting the actually fiberglass parts. A lot of this stuff on motorcycles looks like it's metal, but it's not really metal. It's actually the fiberglass. All right, we'll go back up the other side of the fairing here. And again, we're just making selections. I'm sorry. If this part really bores you here, you know, just skip through here until you get to the next part that you want to see. Get right down here. This is the battery cover. Again, this is just a cool way because I wanted to see, my main goal here is I wanted to see, like, if I'm going to paint my motorcycle, I'm going to get a paint job done on it. What color do I want? What would it look like? You know, that's the stuff I'm trying to figure out. So I want to add some paint to it, but I don't want to take it to the painter and then paint it and me pick it up and go, oh man, I hate that, you know? All right, we're going to do the touring bag, the touring trunk here on the back of this bike. And everything that's black outside of the frame is what I'm trying to do here. I don't want the frame done. Again, like any edit, I tell you folks out there, any edit you do, the better the selection is, the more believable the edit will be. You know, that's a big trick. There's that. Now all I got to do is this saddlebag right here. So I'm going to come down right across the top of the saddlebag. Go across. Again, remember now, we're painting whatever you want to paint. Doesn't matter. Whatever you're going to paint. And as you see this chrome, I'm going over here, and I'm going to show you how to fix that here later on, so don't worry about that. Come up this side of this chrome here. Right to here. And we're probably going to add this down here a little bit. Intersect that a little bit. Then if I need to, I can go up here to my selection brush. And I'm still on add. And we can add this little part right here. Right there. All right. So now it looks like I got everything selected that I want selected. All the black is selected. You can see the people call these the marching ants all over the place. What we're going to do now is do that Command or Control J once again. And what you're going to see here is we just have those parts isolated. Check that out. Just the parts that we want are isolated. These are the parts that we're actually worried about putting some color to and putting some paint on to see what it's going to look like. So, you know, that's what we want to look at here. So let me just click on here. So what I did here was I hold down my Command or your Control key and you click on the layer. And what happens is when you do that, it actually fills the marching ants back out. Because look, if I click off of that, you can see, you know, that the marching ants will go away once you click off of that layer. What I also want to do with that is I'm going to do Command and Control J again and again, just to have a couple sets that I want to work with. This way I don't have to reselect. But did you see when I made the extra layers? The marching ants went away. All right, we need those. So let's do a Command or Control J, or Command or Control, mouse click, and bring those layers back up. And click on this layer actually, layer 2. And layer 2, I'm going to rename the layer, and I'm going to name it red. And what we're going to do here now is we're going to add our red color. You do this very, very easily. First, I go over to my color palette, I pick out the color red I want. Okay, click OK. Then I'm going to go into Edit, Fill Selection. Once again, that's Edit, Fill Selection. And we're going to fill it with the foreground color. When I do this, you're going to see now, I'm going to shut these layers off up here. You'll see now that there's red on there, right? It's painted red. Is that how I want it to look? That looks really, really terrible. I don't want my bike to look like that. Well, there's something we're missing here. Oh, yeah, it's called Layer Styles. Now, the layer style is set to normal. And on this style or blending mode, depending on how you want to call it, I call it a style, but on the layer blending mode, we're going to go down and click on Overlay. Overlay will allow that paint to show like it's bonded to that surface. And if I do, if I just do a Command or Control D to deselect everything, you can see now where the parts that I highlighted are now red. So it shows me what the bike's going to look like. But there is a problem here because look at the Harley Davidson or your logos or emblems or whatever you may have, and the chrome is not showing through very nicely. Look at it down here. I told you I made that mistake. So how we fix that is we're going to add a layer mask. Go up, make sure your foreground color is black. Grab yourself a brush, and you're going to just brush over those areas on your layer mask. What's going to happen is you're going to bring back the detail underneath. Okay, so we're bringing the detail back out. And you've seen me use layer masks a lot. So this is your layer mask. You can see the red there. That's actually a reflector. You're going to do the same thing on your little hinges back here. And you're just bringing that detail back out. Stuff that you don't want painted. Okay. Now try this if you spray paint something and try to go clean it up a little bit. Same with these bars here, these rails, these chrome rails. Just going to get right along that rail. Make that very nice and shiny again. Same with the bottom rail. We're going to go back across that bottom rail. And then we're just going to do the same exact thing over the logo here. I'm just painting with black. And I'm just going right over top. I'm not painting it black. I'm just revealing what's underneath. And there we go. Use your left and right bracket keys. Make the mouse a little, or the brush, I guess they could call it. Some people call it a mouse. Some people call it a brush. All right, something like that. If you go over outside the lines, just simply click over and change your palettes back. You can also use the letter X key. X will flip those and paint with white. You can bring that color back out there. Flip it, take that back off. There you go. So that is how easy it is to paint something and have a look at it and go, well, I like that. I like that red. I mean, I think my bike would look really good in that style of red. That would look really, really sharp. So overall. But then you say, well, I want to see this as a different color. So what I'm going to do now is shut this visibility off and bring this visibility up here. Okay. Again, hold my control key down or my command tree key and click on the layer to bring my selection back up. Let's now change our color. And we're going to do like a blue color here, maybe a lighter blue. So my foreground now is a lighter blue. I come up, edit, fill selection. I'm going to fill that selection. You'll see now where it's blue, right? Really blue. Well, remember, we got to change our blending mode to overlay. There we go. Now it's overlaid. And then your next part is Command or Control D to deselect everything. Add a layer mask. And then just simply start painting. Paint your chrome back out so you can see your chrome again. So again, yes, it does take a little bit, and you can make a selection and deselect your chrome. Just have everything else if you want to do it that way. I find that the layer mask works, just as well. And remember, folks, if you really want to learn these tools and how to use the different tools, don't forget to go to jtclearning.com. That's jtclearning.com. And sign up for my Photoshop Elements course. I mean, there's no tests or anything. There's 50 videos in either Elements 12 or Elements 13. and it's very inexpensive, and I get very, very positive reviews. It's just a great resource. Once you sign up for that, you're a member for life. Like, you don't finish and not kick you out, like a lot of the classes do online. Seems like you got 3 months to complete this. Who has 3 months in their life to do it every day and learn? Really? That's not right. Once you become a member of my course, you're a member for life. So, go ahead and sign up today. I mean, take that jump and start learning these tools. I mean, it's really, really great. So anyway, there's the tool, and there it is in blue. We're going to go down to these bars again. We're going to just open this Chrome back up here. Again, it's just a really neat way. I like doing this because I really get to see what something's going to look like before it looks the way it looks. So there it is in blue. You're like, well, that's pretty cool. I mean, I do like that. And you can also do this if you're really crafty. Let's open up one more layer here. We're going to rename this layer, though, first. We're going to rename this layer. We're going to name it blue. You don't have to rename your layers. I do, so I can make sure I know which is which. Go to that top one, do a command or control, just hit my command or control key and click on it. This time, though, we're going to use what's called a gradient. Okay. Now, gradient, you can make something two-tone. All right. So you can fill with a gradient. Let's go up here now and go to Edit, Fill Selection. And you can fill with a gradient if you want to do so. You can fill it with a pattern. If you want to fill it with patterns, you can do that. So there's just a lot of ways to do it. We're going to see if the gradient will work out for us the way I'm thinking it will. Let's close that up. The gradient itself, if you go left to right in your selection, you can see where the gradient will fill across the selection only. And you got kind of that two-tone. There's a blue and a white. And if you set that blending mode to overlay again, you can see now where it does a lot for the blue, but it doesn't really do a lot for the white. So you're like, I don't really like that. So we'll do undo blending, undo gradient. All right. Click on your gradients. You can choose a different gradient. Let's try the red over green. Take a look at that. Come across the gas tank here. Come all the way down if you want. Leave it go. And you can see now where you got the two-tone going on. Go down to overlay. So now we got the red in the front, kind of the green in the back. Maybe you like something like that. So again, do your deselect. Again, add your layer mask. Don't forget that layer mask. A lot of people forget that. Then they call me and say, Jack, it didn't work. And then just go over whatever you want to reveal underneath again, clean it all up, and get it back to normal. So, there's a lot of ways to do this. I use it for a lot of different reasons. Some of these ways you can even do it if you're working with portraits and you're working with maybe applying a little bit of makeup to somebody's face or, making their cheeks a little bit more rosy. This is a great way to do that also. There's just a lot of uses for it, but I mainly use it for painting and, even just changing the color of something. Maybe you have a picture and, something's not the color it should be. Sometimes I've noticed guys take pictures of their cars and say the doors are rusted out now, but they weren't when they bought it and they want to make it look nicer. They do some photoshopping. They add some color. Same thing. It's just really worth it to know these tricks and know how to do this. And it's really important to know how to use these tools to your advantage. Let's face it, you bought Photoshop Elements. You paid the money for it. Now, why not learn how to use it a little bit better, right? Again, we're just going to go over these bars here. Just like so. Down this bar, back across this bar here. I'm working on the lower right of the bike. And clean that bar up. So I probably wouldn't paint my bike like that, but it is, it's definitely different. It gives it that different look, but almost looks like I put two bikes together. Well, folks, I want to thank you so much for watching my videos here on YouTube. I've been here a long time. I've been teaching Photoshop Elements for years now. Many of you have watched and learned a lot. I get a lot of great comments. Keep those comments coming. I appreciate that. And as I said, if you just take a minute and check it out, it's jtclearning.com. It's on the screen right now for you to see it. jtclearning.com. sign up for one of these online courses. And I call it an online course, but it's basically videos. And people say, Jack, I got YouTube. Why do I need your videos? Because my videos go from the very first step of learning how to do quick edits, then guided edits, then all of the expert tools. And it's in it that the order that you need to learn it. And that's why it's important to take that online, take those online type of a course, I guess, or lessons or whatever. Best of all, like I said, once you're a member, you're always a member. But more than anything, just keep coming back and watching my videos. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, subscribe to my channel. I do appreciate you being here. And I'll talk to you next time on Jack's Tech Corner for another Photoshop Elements video tutorial. Take care. Bye for now.